Hey girl, I'm Lexi, your local lightworker. I'm a tarot reader and an astrologer, and today I thought I would share with you a bit of my daily spiritual routine. It's because I've been receiving messages from some of you asking me to share more of what I do behind the scenes in order to prepare for my pick a card reading. I thought, okay, I'm gonna do my prayer. I am feeling a little bit conscious because to me praying is a very intimate experience. It's as intimate as making love and cleaning my body, washing my body. So I am feeling a little bit apprehensive, but I'm trying to work with this energy and trying to overcome my self-consciousness. So basically what I like to do is before I begin my prayer, I light a candle, of course. I like to use matches because they feel nicer, better than those guns that you can use to light up things. I'm lighting up this really glitzy gold candle that I began the new year with. I sometimes also burn incense, so I have here the Nagchampa Buena Suerte. It's a funny combination of Indian and Spanish. Sometimes light an incense stick. I don't always complete all of it in one go. It depends on my schedule. If it's a day in which I have a lot of readings, if I have to do around 6 to 7 personal readings, I tend to go through 1 and 1.5 of these. But if I just film one of my clips, or if it's just for me, for my personal use, I just like to it smells so yummy. I just like to burn through half of it. It's also good to not be wasteful. Keep in mind that I'm using all these objects, but you can pray anytime. You literally can pray anytime, anywhere, and you don't need anything but yourself. I sprinkle in some this is rose water as well. And of course, I like to drink at least 2 to 3 glasses of water. You should drink, I think I've heard a doctor say at one point that you should drink up to 8 glasses of water a day. I try to get at least 3 to 4 before I begin my day in my body, so that at least I know I drank half of my day's worth of water, my body's hydrated, my cells are relaxed, I don't have to push in overdrive, I don't have to make my body work for it, I want my body to work with me rather than against me. I sometimes like to do some sound cleansing as well, so I have here a bell. The thing with a bell and with a Tibetan bowl, for example, sometimes when the sound is chunky, when it's not flowing, that's usually an interruption in the energy flow, and that means you need to persist. At least this is how I interpret any clogging, raspy, weird energies. Even right now, today, I can feel that my throat chakra is not really pumped up at its fullest. So how do you cleanse the throat chakra? Well, basically, you take a deep breath in. I'm already cleansing it by inhaling the smoke from the incense. I personally really love incense smoke. I'm quite sensitive with a number of other things in my life, but incense smoke is always really, really calming for me. Another way in which you can assess whether the energy of the room, of your practice, of your chakras is aligned is that usually the incense smoke, you see it right now, it's not yet full alignment, but it reaches a moment when the incense just floats up in a very straight column. That's when you can begin reading, you can actually access something of a higher order or of a deeper understanding. Depends what you're aiming for. What I wanted to share with you guys today is I take a feminist approach to praying. This is because I was educated. This is part of my postgraduate degree. You can see it here where it happened. So I feel like spirit is already present here. All I need to do is tap into it and access it. Okay, so I'm gonna pray in front of you guys. Feel free to pray with me. I personally like to pray in my own language, and I like to pray vocally. I like to hear my words. Sometimes when I pray out loud, I also yawn a lot, and I feel as if the evil eye is lifted off of me, and this happens to me very frequently, especially if I've been a lot outside. People tend to stare at me. I have this evil eye attachment done onto you when people stare at you because they think, oh, so pretty, but also when they think, oh, so ugly, you know, so it can happen both with negative or positive regard. If I know that I spend a lot of time outdoors, and I really enjoy spending a lot of time outdoors, moving and being dynamic, when I come into the home, into my sacred space, I like to sit down and say a prayer. Sometimes I even rub my wrist to stimulate flow of blood in my body and to have that cleansing energy. I don't only say my prayer to get rid of the evil eye. I think that this is a side effect, a beautiful side effect, that you're also breaking a little spell, you know, a little negative spell as you're praying. I pray most of the day, almost every day, sometimes several times a day. I pray when I'm in the elevator, I pray when I'm in the shower, I pray when I am in the subway, I pray when I'm shopping. I do it obviously not out loud. I only do it out loud in my home. Nature helps definitely in helping you, in helping us, actually reminding us that spirit is there, it's present, and we are loved. But the connection between nature and your own interior world is what is, you know, spirit about, what this connection, this energy flow, and we name it in various different ways: God, Allah, Buddha. But this is the connection. This is what most spiritual masters out there have been speaking about for centuries. I like to say a prayer called Our Father in Romanian. And then after that, as I said before, I like to balance it out and say a prayer that praises the divine feminine. I'm just gonna do it, okay? I'm just gonna begin because I can keep talking about this a whole day, but let's just do it, yeah? So, Tatăl nostru care ne ești în ceruri, sfințească-se numele Tău, fie împărăția Ta, facă-se voia Ta, precum în cer așa și pe pământ. Pâinea noastră cea toate zilele, dă-ne nouă astăzi și ne iartă nouă greșelile noastre, precum și noi iertăm greșiților noștri. Și nu ne duce pe noi în ispită și ne izbăvește de cel rău, și acum și pururea și în vecii vecilor, slăvită fie împărăția Ta. Amin. Okay, so I ended by doing the sign of the cross, în numele Tatălui și al Fiului și al Sfântului Duh. Amin. To me, this represents as above, so below, as within, so without. Usually this prayer praises the divine masculine. It's called Our Father, and it's about the Son and the Father. And in order to balance this energy out, I taught myself another prayer, and I usually say these two together. So, this is the prayer to the Divine Mother. Cuvine-se cu adevărat să te fericim pe tine, născătoare de Dumnezeu, cea pururea fericită și prea nevinovată și Maica Dumnezeului nostru, cea care ești mai cinstită decât heruvimii și mai mărită fără de asemănare decât serafimii, pe tine, cea care fără stricăciune pe Dumnezeu cuvântul ai născut, te mărim. You know it's working because I get really emotional. So every time I access this, it's also, things happen externally, like the sun is peering out through the clouds. You know it's working. You know, you start to feel things. That's how you know praying is working. And especially on a day like today, when I'm not praying for anything specifically for you guys for this video, but I'm not praying in order to ask for advice or solace or comfort, or because I'm incredibly happy and I feel very grateful. It's just a common day, right? An everyday occurrence, and it still packs a punch. It's still, you know, I felt it in my heart chakra, how it was vibrating. Also because I'm a little bit nervous because I'm praying in front of other people, and as I said, it's like I'm doing something very intimate. So I am feeling a little bit anxious, but deep breathing can help me balance this out, yeah? So I end the prayer to the Divine Feminine by, again, teaching myself to work against gender bias in prayers. So I say, în numele mamei și al fiicei și al Sfântului Duh. Amin. I know that for some people this could be considered a heresy. I really don't care. It's really, really important to keep in mind, guys, that giving your power away to a religious institution and doing everything that somebody else tells you to do from a spiritual perspective is not really true spirituality. Adapt prayers to yourself, to your background, to your education, to your race, to your culture, to your gender. In spite of the fact that spiritual things are not gendered, the way in which we manifest them, the way in which we experience them here on this earthly plane tends to be divided between the masculine and the feminine, because we are still connected to this biological system, which we're slowly working through and learning how to detach from. Also, it's interesting that our planet is orbited by the moon, but is also very near Mars and Venus. These are our neighbors. So Venus, the divine feminine, and Mars, the divine masculine. So these two energies constantly moving as our planet is moving, and the moon is orbiting, the moon representing emotions and the unconscious self, and then the sun beaming its light onto us is making all of these various planetary energies being projected here onto Earth. So it's interesting from a cosmic perspective as well how our neighbors are Mars and Venus. So this is basically it. I have 2 prayers. I taught myself the second one. I am working every day against the gender bias of praying only to the Father, of imagining God as a man. I'm working against that. I'm working to depatriarchalize my mind, if you want to call it like that, and include both the divine masculine and the divine feminine. As Carl Jung said, we have within the anima and the animus. And you know, these 2 energies, these 2 archetypal energies are connected to everything that we consider to be masculine and feminine, the whole reservoir of experiences, myths, historical events that have happened and have gendered our experiences here on this earth. So even though collectively we're working towards progress and towards egalitarianism, hopefully, at the same time we still are affected by these unconscious processes of what is masculine, what is feminine. You know, we tend to still be attracted to certain elements. We tend to still reproduce injustices and imbalances. So praying every day on these 2 different strands, and I actually made the sign of 4, on these 2 different strands is, I think, is a practice that to me personally connects me to my spiritual side, helps me stay true to my education, but it's also about freeing my mind from the unconscious oppression that I was brought up in as a woman in the man's world. Another thing that I also like to do before I read tarot for other people, just to eliminate a little bit from my own bias, because I'm going through certain elements as well. So before I start reading tarot for other people, I do a reading on myself, just to make sure that my energy and my own unconscious processes, my own personal healing is somehow separate from what I'm reading for my clients, for you guys, basically for other people. Yeah, I think this is what I had for you guys today. There are certain elements that you can use from this video, and I will happily and gladly continue to share random things from my everyday routine. These are things that I am indeed doing and practicing every day. So I hope this helped. I look forward to creating more readings and videos for you guys soon. And yeah, take great care of yourselves and pray. It's life-changing.